All right, Derek Shapiro here. This next guy is a great guy. I know him from my past dealings with other businesses I've done, and it's funny because one of my co-hosts, Evans A. Darrellis, me and him used to work together, and he goes by Manhattan. And he has a new book out called Genesis. And ironically, for you guys listening on Amazon Music or Audible by Amazon, his book is being sold on Amazon, and it's being sold in Barnes and Noble. So everybody in the Derek Shapiro Show world and iHeartRadio and Spotify and Apple Podcasts, give a warm welcome to Manhattan, all the way in New Hampshire, and I'm in Rhode Island. How you doing, Manhattan?
I'm doing pretty good, Derek. How's it going with you?
Great, little roadie over here, and it's a privilege to interview you tonight because I haven't interviewed an author in a long time. Quite a while. Oh no, I'm sorry. I interview an author every year. If you know Roseanne, the old Roseanne show, right?
Yes.
The black actress who played Anne Marie. Her name is Adela Barnes. Okay,
The Lamont, that's right.
I interview her every year, and I met her in Georgia. So, she's actually was on my show last month, Adela Barnes. So,
Wow, I
so
would love to meet her.
oh my God, every year I interview her. So, sometimes I look for guest co-hosts to interview her. Sometimes I haven't had a guest co-host interview in a while, but every year I interview her. She's in the new show on CW 4400. You know.
Yeah, I know. No, I've seen the show. That's what I said. I would love to meet. I would love to meet her, and I
Yeah.
would love to get some questions I've always wanted to ask,
Yes.
either from another author or someone that's an actor that would. I've always wanted to be personally an actor.
So
You
you,
know, I got so many admirers. James Earl Jones, Quincy Jones. There's so many African American and white and Asian and Hispanic actors that I admired all my life.
exactly.
You know,
Well,
and the funny thing about it is when they redid the West Side Story. I mean, to redo something so classic.
sure. Well, okay. I must have to ask you now. What is your take before we get into your book? Okay, what is your take on the whole Will Smith Chris Rock thing?
Well, I believe I would have smacked the taste out of his mouth too, but
Okay.
it would not have been on stage. I would have, said something maybe in the crowd, and I'd have caught you if it was not today, tomorrow, next week, and it could have been on your birthday 6 months, 6 years from now, and you would have remembered that day you said something about my wife. And with the Will Smith part of it, I have an open life and open relationships myself, but if don't throw rocks at a glass house. You know what I mean? If your house ain't that clean, you shouldn't be trying to clean it up on public as if it is. Act
Sure.
like it is.
Well,
Simply.
Chris Rock's sales in Boston went way up, and I mean, Chris Rock looks like the better man. I mean, I saw him in person before. Me doing being an extra in the Grown Ups movie with Adam Sandler. So,
Oh my God, yeah.
yeah, so seeing Chris Rock in person, I mean, but right after that, I've been playing Will Smith on my show, old school Will Smith. So the thing is, I'm in the middle, but like, hey, I'm in a rock in a hot place,
Yeah, on the better than being a rock in between Will Smith. You might get hit too. My
Exactly.
thing is, he's a comedian.
Yeah.
He makes jokes.
Yep.
And if that means every comedian should watch their back every time they say something to someone that happens to be in the audience, I see the reference to G.I. Jane. Maybe Paramount or Lionsgate or whatever should go after um, Will Smith's wife and go do a G.I. Jane too.
Yes, maybe.
She could make some money off it. Maybe they should sell the idea. He backs a whole bunch of stuff, make some money off it. But Chris Rock's a comedian.
Yeah.
If they just roasted Jada Pinkett Smith no more than about a year or two ago,
Yeah.
and he was hard on her.
Yeah.
If she could take it, why can't your man? It seems a
Exactly.
comedian. That's his job to make people laugh. But I would say, don't make a joke that you can't make everybody in the room laugh with. Sometimes you gotta, pick your battles, or really
Exactly.
check your crowd, and don't just go after one person too tough. But he's a comedian. That's his job, not to be to pull back. He's supposed to make people laugh.
Sure. Well,
But I would have said stick to the script if he had one.
well, I was seeing old videos and Jada Pickett and Chris Rock promoted for Madagascar together. It's like
Yeah.
they were friends. So
But no, they did. He roasted her.
Oh well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
I
for her
know.
birthday or something like that. He roasted her. He went off, him and
Yeah,
other comedians. If
exactly.
she could take it,
Yeah.
come
Then
on.
yeah, exactly. Well,
You know.
so you have a new book out. It's called Genesis.
Yes.
When I think about Genesis, I think about the group with Phil Collins. Genesis.
Yes.
What
And
is
most people
Genesis?
think of other Genesis as that automatically it's going to be some biblical fire and brimstone fanatic stuff. No, I admire from the cryptic to the satanic. I admire from musical to the satanic. I mean, again, the satanic like Ozzy Osbourne or Genesis or something like that. But my book is about an individual's journey of discoverance of
Really?
his past, his present, and his future.
Is it
Futures
about
are
you?
always unknown.
Is this a true story about you?
No, it's a fictional story. I use characters. Everybody, I guess, looks at people in their lives and uses instances in their lives or things around them, whether it's their location. I'm prominent to many states, many areas. I've been lucky enough to go to a few different countries, and I use experience of my life. But it's a fictional book. I just, like I said, in general, if anything is close to resemblance, names, places, or people, it's just a coincidence.
So
You
so
know,
so when did you start writing this book?
well, actually, this first book was written about 20 something years ago. I
So
read, or
wow.
I wrote about 4 or 5 others, and it uses one of the main characters through his journey in bits and pieces. But this one book kind of puts him like in the thick of things of where he's at now and where he has to go compared to where he's been when he was younger.
So this book just came out recently?
Yes, this book has been out now for 2 weeks. It only hit the markets 2 Mondays ago. This will be hitting the beginning of the first third week. Only
So
2 weeks ago it started.
so you said it's being sold at Barnes and Noble as
It's on
well.
Amazon Bonds. It's on Amazon Bonds and Noble. It's linked to Audible. It's linked to almost every social media you could imagine out there. If I have a clip that is being promoted by Fulton Books.
Okay.
They are my publishers. They're very good people. They treated me very nice. They walked me through the steps of doing it, and now they actually want other works of mine, not just because these are the same character or the character's MO. I look at like the Marvel things. Everything wraps up in a circle, but sometimes you got to start in the middle to get to the beginning to get to the end.
Yes.
And sometimes you can't start at someone's life as an infant. No, you got to start in the thick of things where things happen. And in other books, it'll jump around.
How easy?
It puts the character there.
How easy was it to get your book on into Barnes and Noble and Amazon?
Well, Fulton Books is connected to all of them in general, so they have a network that they distribute all publishings of them that they figure or believe is qualified to go through these venues. And I was lucky enough to be cast in it. I'm looking at Netflix. I want my book to become a series or some sort of mini series, or just once it's read, this is the type of book that has to be seen. It has to be visually grasped. But I mean, no different than I don't put myself in any realm of Harry Potter or like Left Behind. Did you ever read those books, Left Behind?
No, no.
I think that's a good place to start, though. That was one of the first books I've ever read that I completed, not just the book, but a series of every book that was published by a particular author. And it's like 18 books. All right. And it made me want to write, regardless of my background with college and printing and photography. Journalism was part of my major, and I just never went into it. My
So
time, I may not may be limited with your show, but I'll get to kind of the thick of things. My father told me to put my time to good use.
right.
Whether it's in life, in my family, or whatever. And I'm not going to say I'm some angel or some perfect dad or anything like that. I'm saying I had something I went to school for from grade school on up that was taken from me because of a cell phone. Not that technology should advance, but I was a photographer. But journalism was a part of it. And if I went into the service, I was going to be a battle photographer, which I changed my mind because of life and death situations within my own family. I lost a brother to the streets of New York, and my experiences in life, like I say, I poured into the book in one way or another, not directly in some ways, but like I said, this is a fictional book. It's made from my imagination, but there's always a degree of truth in everything, if you know what I mean.
Exactly, but you know, I do movies myself. You know, so it's a true. There's some kind of truth in every character I play. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even if it's stretched out a little bit. Even the comical characters I play or the serious characters I play, there's always some truth into everything we put out because
You put your heart into it, and 9 times out of 10, you draw from a family member, a friend, someone you saw walking down the street, someone you heard, a coworker that has the mannerisms that you want to portray, either in a book or in your art when it comes down to films. I would love to get together. Maybe we could collaborate on something and do a short, something that I could present to Netflix or Paramount or God knows who, with your name on the back of it saying.
well, we definitely got to meet. I mean, and talk about that too off the air. So if you could do act out a scene from your book, okay, one of the main characters, so people can get the message about this book. If you could pick out one good scene from this book, if you could do a scene from this book, what would it be?
I would say it would be the scene from almost near the end,
Okay.
not almost near the climax. The character itself, I'd say, Manhattan, had to leave. He had to eventually leave prison. His time was up. But in the search for, I guess, what brought him to his awakening or his aha moment that there was something more than himself out there, I guess was when his boys came. And the scene itself would be just walking out and he meets his mother. His father had passed, and she was waiting at the gate for him. But there was the prosecutor that ended up putting him away was there too. And then his friends showed up, his old boys from his past, but his old boys from the prison and the time he spent there were looking out the window and watching him leave because those guys were never leaving. They were lifers, you know. And his mother was in the face of him, his boys, and the person that put him there, a full circle of what his life was. And she thought that the prosecutor, which became governor, was just there to harass her son on the way out when he just wanted to go home.
Wow, that is heavy.
Yeah, and it's a lot,
And what's the
a lot.
character's name? What's the character's name?
Well, the character name itself is Mark.
Mark. Really?
All right, but his life before prison with gangs and his crew and whatnot. He was always called Manhattan.
Wow. Wow. I can't wait to see this book and have people read this. And again, we're both on Amazon, so people who are
Yeah.
listening to this interview right now can go over and search up right now. If you're on Amazon, if you're on iHeartRadio, if you're on Google Podcasts, just go over to Amazon. But people who's on Amazon right now or on Audible right now, listening to this show, okay, you just have to click over from my show and put on, type in Genesis.
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 Genesis, Genesis, written by Manhattan. It's destined to be a movie somewhere, somehow, some way.
Wow.
And it's a read that will grasp you and give you what you don't see. What
Exactly.
you don't see.
Sure.
What's really going on in the world today that you really don't see.
Exactly.
There are friends, there's families, there's good guys, bad guys, there's enemies that you don't know, enemies that you love to hate, people that the bad guy doesn't get away, but he doesn't actually fail. The good guy doesn't win, but he doesn't, save the day either.
I like that because you know what? If I could refer to the Will Smith thing again, Will Smith's a good guy, right? He had a bad moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bad people can be good people too. You know what I'm saying?
My dad always said it rains on the good as well as the wicked.
People see me as a talk show host, but we all have skeletons in our closet. We all, if you don't have a skeleton in your closet,
there's something. You ain't got no closet.
Thank you. Hello.
You don't have a closet.
Exactly. But the thing is, we all can. Redemption is a big thing. The big R. Redemption after prison. I know a few people. I met up with this lady recently who works at Cumberland Farms. I haven't seen her in a few years, and she was in my movies, and she went to prison for something, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna give you something before you as you're going on with that because I can tell where some of this is going.
Sure.
I have 31 years clean and sober.
Yep.
That's but that's just a number.
Yep.
I only have 24 hours. I'm grateful for every day of life. Everybody has done their degree of so many things, but my gratefulness is my family. My gratefulness, I'm not going to say a loving, caring God as I understand him because I'm more spiritual than religious. And I believe whatever comes around goes around because I've been pagan. I've been Muslim. I've been a 5%er from the Nation of Islam. I've been damn near a 7-day Adventist because I was jumping around in faiths trying to learn more than trying to be more.
Wow.
In life, all you have is today, man. I'm so blessed with the people that love me. I'm so blessed with the children and women, and I'm grateful my mother's in my life. She's like in her 90s.
Yes.
I'm grateful I have sisters and brothers that are still living compared to all the sisters and the brothers that I lost to the streets of New York, to the crisis of AIDS, because my brother came back from Vietnam. He was a IV drug user. After he stopped using, he caught a disease because he shared needles. And he came back with Agent Orange from a war that was whatever. I don't know about that, and I can't make any condemnations about war or people or the presidents. I don't care. I don't get anything out of it. I'm just a hardworking man, and I got a break from a company that took a chance on me. And I'm praying that enough people read and buy and participate, that it generates enough that I can get a movie. I can show mine to the world. And then anything I got out of this, I accomplished a baby that I don't think I would have ever grasped on earth and fathomed in a million years that I would have something in the United States Congress archives, because they put all books there for until the United States is gone, because we all American publishers go there to record our archives or any kind of literature that we've written for history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm just grateful I got something done for me.
Wow.
You know, and they're speaking to you now. Come on, you've been accomplishing God knows what for years. I looked, I dabbled, I peeked, and you came to me.
Sure.
I mean, you saw an interest in somebody that was your friend. We've never had any problems, and we've always respected each other. We ribbed each other on a basic basis, but we worked good and hard together because all we wanted to do was support our families,
sure,
or ourselves.
Well, I had to say that I respected your position when you were the superior in the company, of course. But at the end of the day, you had to do your job. I did my job, and at the end of the day, I was more lighthearted because I promoted my show to a lot of people, and my cable show, and it's a privilege to have you on here tonight. And I'm so
privileged to be here.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I haven't seen you in so long, and to meet under these circumstances again, I'm privileged.
Yes.
That we reached out to each other.
Well, it's meant, and I want to thank you for being part of this show. And Genesis is out right now again on Barnes and Noble. It's in the bookstore too, or is it just online?
Yes, it's in Barnes and Noble. It's in Barnes. It's in the bookstores.
In the bookstores.
It's in the bookstores.
What section? What section?
It's going to be in fiction.
Fiction, okay, fiction section. Right. Barnes and Noble, BarnesandNoble.com, Amazon.com.
Yep.
Audible by Amazon.
Yes, it's everywhere. I got one more thing. If we're gonna close out.
Sure.
My next book is gonna be coming out soon. I can give you the name of it right off the rip, and it's the Manhattan's in it, a part of it. Mark is a part of it. He's a part, but a well worthy part. The name of the book is called Determined Sister.
Determined Sister. That's going to be good.
And I'm going to let you know, I did this artwork myself.
Really?
The company enhanced it. They made a change or two that was well worth it, but I did the artwork myself, and I'm going to stick to that. I'm doing my own artwork, my own editing. I'm doing as much as I can for creative control and to keep it close to my heart, But Determined Sister is going to be the next book, and I have a total science fiction after that. I have a few things, really, really, some surprises. You read my books, you'll see it's no Marvel, but there is a complete circle at the end.
I might have to do another interview with you and Evans for my episode monthly show coming up. And sure. I might have to do another interview because this is just too good just to shorten up. We may have to do a shortened one just for my cable show coming up. And I'm telling you, it's just a privilege to have you on here. And
to be here.
Thank you very much for being and we got to talk behind the cameras anyway about some other work too.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Of course, Manhattan. Who's in New Hampshire and I'm in Rhode Island. Look at that. All right.
Yes, come on.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.